go. Yo, guys, what is going on? It is your boy, the Phenomenal One, and I am back right here testing out something new with P1's Corner. I'm going to bring this is a show where I'll bring some people in, and we'll get down and dirty, and we'll do some interview. My first guest is someone who is a great friend of mine. I've been a great friend for we've met lately through all this drama on the internet, but he's someone who I can consider someone I'm really cool with. And this is going to be an honor for me to interview this guy, and that is Mr. Spyro, the Bug Boy. And Spyro, what's going on, my dude?
Nothing much, man. Just kind of been chilling these past couple days and trying to get through all the shit that's been going on in these months.
Yeah, and we've been through so much lately with this internet stuff. Like, we've been through so much. I know you've had your fair share of stuff, and I've definitely had mine. But Spyro, for some people who don't know you, let's hear some things about you.
Uh, uh shit. But yeah, I kind of just have a YouTube channel where I just really kind of fuck around on YouTube and just kind of do gaming streams where I just mess around in the games and not really take them seriously. I sometimes kind of do call out streams where if I see somebody doing something, like that's fraudulent or they're fake or they've actually done some kind of fucked up thing, I just call them out on it, and if they show up in the chat, usually what happens if those people show up into the chat, they'll either try and make a straw man out of me, attempt to get the stream flagged, or just cry and scream in the chat, and then everybody else in the chat laughs at
them. Oh man, and I'm pretty sure you've definitely had your fair share of embarrassing people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, hey, that's what we do that sometimes. Like, sometimes we just got to make a fool out of some people because they're making fools out of themselves.
Yeah, and then, like, I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of entertaining just to see them flail and scream and try to defend the actions that they did. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but a thing that I don't think most people really know about you, but I think a lot of people like who really know this about you, but I don't know, most people know this, but you're into drawing and you're into art.
Yeah, it's I don't really I posted on kind of like just Discords that I'm in. Most of them just kind of being little private ones that me and a couple friends just have. We just hang out and chill on there. Oh, go ahead.
And how did you kind of get into art? How did you get into art?
Oh shit, that takes me back to fuck, when was it? That takes me back to, I think it was middle school, where I just did these. I did a. Oh wait, no. Third grade. My mistake. Third grade. So me and a friend, we had this dumb little drawing thing that we would do, and we called it Unlucky Town, and it was so fucking dumb. We just drew like a setting, and then there was a bunch of stick figures either getting hurt or killed, or they were trying to do something and it just failed miserably. The one that we really liked the most was there was a baby in a rocket, and the rocket was going to take off, and the stick figures were trying to get the baby out, but one of them was trying to open the door, but he somehow got his hand stuck in the door. One tried crawling through the engine, only to be set aflame. Some guy tried parachuting in and got impaled on the top of the rocket. just random shit like that. It was so really fucking random.
You drew a baby with a rocket. You drew a baby in a rocket with stick figures.
Yeah, that were trying to get inside and save him before the rocket took off.
Oh my!
And they were horrible at it. I think another one we did. They were on a safari trip, and the thing ended up crashing into a canyon.
Man, that is quite interesting, my man. That is quite interesting.
Yeah, it was mainly like my friend's idea.
Mm-hmm. So like you just did it, it's like a little pastime, just do some
Yeah.
goofing off, and I can understand. I can understand that. So Spyro, like one of my first, and I remember, first interacting with you, and I remember kind of, I think the really first time I really saw you, I think was in one of Deku's streams, and like personally, as Deku is one of my like people on here who I've been cool with for the better part of 4 or 5 years on this platform, and something that I would and I think something really interesting is how did you kind of find Deku on here? Like what was the
Oh,
video that kind of led you in?
well, it wasn't a video that led me into him. It was I was actually on one of you know who's Plushy Boy streams.
Oh, we'll mention him later. We'll mention him later, don't you?
Yeah, but I found
Mm.
out about him through him because he happened to find Deku streams. Well, okay, well that's kind of a lie. I found out about you through Leon. I found out about the name, but at the time I'm like I didn't know who that was until much later when I was on that that person's stream and we watched it live, and it was the one where he was calling out Fat Boy.
Mm. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. And while we're on the topic of Plushy Boy, and I think like we've had our fair share of problems with Plushy Boy, but something tells me that like before we had everything that we kind of pretty much had or anything, you were somewhat cool with him.
Yes, I was.
Mm. And like did you like meet him like on his own stream, like?
Oh, okay. No, I met him. I like found out about him through a series of streams that Leon was doing about a guy called Bad Fox, who was a troll that had a bunch of, and I'm not making this up. The guy had 1 million alt accounts. And like I'm not making that up. It was proven. There's a screenshot floating out around there about all the accounts that are under his name. He I found like he was on one of the streams. I'm like, huh, this guy seems kind of cool. And then I was doing a stream talking about the other guy that I've been having problems with, and Junko actually gave the link to him, and that's how I met him. Was when I did a stream on Steiny Boy.
Mm. Oh yeah, and Spiny Boy is definitely going to be a huge chapter of I think your definitely Stein is definitely a huge chapter of your YouTube career. It's definitely
Oh boy, yeah.
yeah, and that's going to be interesting. We're going to dive deep into that a little bit later. But the thing is, like like the way I found you, I think I found you somewhat through Deku, somewhat through Plushy Boy. But I think the interesting thing with Plushy, I think the interesting with Plushy Boy is, like he kind of rose a little bit, but then as soon as he rose, he kind of fell like not too long later,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm, and like I don't even know like how long like you've really known the guy. Like I only knew the guy for a few months. Like you probably known him like double that time if I'm being lucky, shooting it.
Yeah, I
Um,
think back in it was sometime in late February, early March is when I met him of this year.
hmm. So about like around the time when the world kind of just self-destructed.
Yes.
And I know like that's affected you because I know I think that that affected your job and everything, and that's unfortunate, because that affected me in a similar way, But like while we're on the topic of Plushy Boy, like was there what was I think your like moment where you just couldn't take it anymore, like the moment where you just were done?
The moment I stand by everybody else for this moment because I think collectively a lot of people just kind of left him. Was when he was starting to be chill with Fat Boy.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I left. That's when I kind of backed away from him. Didn't appear on much of his streams anymore.
didn't appear on much of streams, didn't really speak to him anymore for being
Oh yeah,
quite
no,
long. Yeah.
I cut ties with him, and
Mhm.
yeah, it was. I'll admit it was kind of hard, but I had to do it. I did
Mhm.
what I felt was right.
Yeah, and like, and like, yeah, and because I think we like, if you don't know the story, it's all over YouTube. I think you just need to type in his name and you'll find it. Because we're not gonna go too deep in the story because this is about Spyro and Spyro. There's a limelight, but like I really kind of met you in a way through kind of all through that, which is kind of weird. Which is kind of weird. The fact that like we're talking like right now, like we had like little to no communication ever before all these people,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
crazy.
like like how do like people like especially like the Stanley people, like how do these people like start stuff with you, because you're like
I,
a pretty chill like dude.
I don't know. I guess it's because they. I guess it's just because they see me being happy and fun and hanging out with other people that share the same kind of enthusiasm. They're just like, I want to fuck with him. I want to ruin his. I want to try and ruin his relationships with people that he's cool with.
Mhm. And like we're speaking of relationships while we're on the topic of that, Dan XP, calls you, his personal protege. And
Yeah.
he's even telling you to call yourself, Spyro the Bug Man. You say you're not a boy anymore, you're just a man. You're a man, Spyro the Bug Man. But what are your, like, how did you like? I'm kind of curious, like how did you meet Dan, and like what, I think what do you think about you inspired Dan to invest himself into you?
Uh, it was kind of more the same through Plushy Boy. He happened to pop on to one of his. He managed to like get on to one of his streams, and we didn't really interact much. But as the months went on, we started talking more and more. He came on more of Plushy Boy streams, and through that, we kind of just hit it off there. It just
Hmm.
became like a friendship.
Yeah,
or as I think Dan would like to say, I pulled Spyro out of that group. I took him away
in some
from those
ways,
people.
in some ways, he kind of did, because I think your affiliations with a lot of people, in a way, kind of reflect your really, your interactions with Dan in a way.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it.
Mm-hmm. Like like because concerning the fact that Dan, is keeping his he keeps his circle slim. So, and I think, that really means something for Dan to invest, that much, time into you as much as he has. And so far, I think, you're doing a good job of running with that, and you're really making a name for yourself on here.
Yep.
We,
We did me and Dan. We did a stream playing Monster Hunter.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw that, Panda Playroom. For the people in the chat, you want to probably check that out. Panda Playroom. It's Bug Boy and Panda and Bug Boy. Two animals you don't hear meeting up every now and then.
Yep.
But that's just the magic of the internet. We mesh things up that usually don't go together.
Yeah, it just somehow magically finds a way to work.
Yeah. Like, and say what you will, like, about Plushy Boy or anything like that, but like if it wasn't for him, like we probably wouldn't be using like StreamYard as much as we are, in a way.
Yeah.
Like it's like one of the few good things that came out of like meeting, Plushy Boy. And now, I think it's time, like we, really discuss, I think, your biggest foe on YouTube.
Oh boy.
Because this is a very interesting kind of a story. It's a very interesting story, like, about this
Mhm.
16-year-old, who just thinks that he can kind of run this platform and do what and just do what he wants and not expect repercussions on here.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like this Yeah, and I think, and we all know who that is, and that is Mr. Nice Guy himself, Mr. Dan Stein. And
Yep.
the crazy thing about Dan Stein is, like, you used to be cool with him. Like, that's what,
Yes.
like,
I
really
yes
kind of stops this.
that's a lot of that's one thing that people don't know. Yes, I was cool with this guy at one point.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was
And
cool with him.
what was that one? If there was that one thing that you two bonded upon, what would that be?
I guess it was. I guess it was just kind of like the passion of just being on YouTube and just making videos. I think that's the one thing we kind of really bonded on until that was all shattered with one fateful threat that he made towards me. But I'll get into that later.
Like, we're definitely gonna get into that later. But so like time goes on, you two like are somewhat cool on here. Like, did you ever play any like video games or something with this kid?
No, I did not. I did not
Okay.
play any kind of games with him.
But I'm pretty sure you probably but did you ever also ever appear in any streams together or something? Like, cause this kind of had
Uh,
to have started some way. Like, I want to know.
oh,
Like,
okay. Yeah, there is some true. It wasn't a stream that he hosted. It was a stream that one of his friends was hosting. So I guess I might as well just talk about the history because that kind of leads into the
mhm,
to the whole big
yeah.
fight. So I met this, like, how I first heard about him. I met this guy through another drama that I was in that happened last year, and it was coming to a close. It was a drama between a guy that was just like making these videos, like falsely accusing these famous people of being pedophiles, and these people having like supporting these like anti these anti like Semitic groups or some shit. I forget the name. I forget like
Mhm.
the term analogy for that. Forgive me. Uh, um, so I met him. He was live streaming. Dan was live streaming gore on a stream,
Hmm.
and he was showing all kinds of horrific things. 9/11, the New Zealand attack. I don't remember. I think there was a school shooting, and then there was a one of a building collapsing, and that stream did end up getting flagged. Not by
Mhm.
me, by other people that happened to tune in at those like specific moments and just report the stream for it. Uh, and then I don't like, and then that was kind of it at the time. And then I find out about him again, and he's on this guy, and Dan Stein is on his friend's stream. I'm able to get on there, and with one other friend, her name is Sage is Lazy. She's kind of like a commentator, and she's got her own little like Discord, and we sometimes hang out and talk. But we got on there and we talked with Dan, because I did some digging in that time, and I found out, oh, this guy has actually done some kind of fucked up things. And while the stream's not up anymore because the guy deleted it, uh,
Mhm.
he was saying, I don't remember. I'd have to ask Sage because she was there. She remembers things better than me. I like we asked him like why he feeds into like people making fun of him, or why he is accusing people of being like pedophiles when there's no like physical like hand-on evidence proof that these guys have actually interacted with minors. He says
Yeah.
that, well no, he's like, well no, they are pedophiles. They are, but and we kept on asking him to show us proof of this, and he just would not. He just would either dodge the question or just flat out say like, I don't have the proof on me right now, but if you give me a few minutes, I can get it. And then we just, and it kind of got a little heated, and we said, like, why are you doing this? Like, why don't you just, like, if you want these kind of people to leave you alone, like people that are trolling you, why don't you just go ahead and like just do a soft reboot on your channel? You don't have to delete your videos; they can stay
Mhm.
up, or you can private them. You can do what you want with them, but just make a soft reboot. and just start from anew. He's like, I don't want to do that because then the haters will see that as a victory, and I don't want to give them what they want. And yeah, he has that kind of mentality, and that shows later on in the whole thing. So then after that, I kind of spent some time, and he in that Discord chat. I kind of spent some time. We talk, and there was a point. I think there was a point where I stopped kind of interacting with him, and he was starting to do like weird shit around that time, saying that Sage was supposed to be his Discord mother, and that I was going to be the Discord father. And I said, like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the fuck is this? I don't want to be associated with this anymore. So, but that's not where the friendship ended. I got invited to a group DM with a guy called Kratos and a couple of his other friends who were questioning Dan because I didn't know about this, but Dan had apparently been in contact with a 14-year-old girl and had been harassing her for nudes. And when that got brought up into question, the ever famous phrase, and I think some people that know what I'm talking about are probably tuned into the stream. Say it with me, folks. I'll dox you. I will get your IP address, dox you, and kill your family. That's what he said, is what he said to me. And at that point, I was like, fuck you. And I left. That's when I cut ties with him, and I did my very first stream on him that is no longer up anymore because he was actually able to flag that one down. I just talked about my general experience with him and why I thought, and I gave him tips. I gave him stuff like, hey, if you don't want, people to be fucking with you, then, don't make videos calling people pedophiles. Don't post cringy shit on your channel. Don't just don't do shit that's gonna make people hate you. But he saw that as an attack. And he spent a good while trying his best to try and get my channel flagged down. And there were a lot of memorable streams that I've done that are sadly no longer available anymore. The more famous one is one I did where I talked about how he was misunderstood about the Black Lives Matter movement at the time. I didn't know about the inner workings of it. He joins that stream and just makes a complete fucking fool out of himself the entire time he is there. Constantly talking over people, constantly interrupting people, mocking people, and just being a general fucking ass towards the people that were there on the stream and to the people in the chat. Eventually, that Kratos guy and a guy called Mr. Bitter eventually get into the StreamYard, and they start having a debate with him. And then it gets to the point where Dan says, like, oh, I've been suffering from nightmares and panic attacks, and I have thoughts of suicide, and I have anger issues. And when we told him that, and I think it was either me or Kratos that told him that's not an excuse, he was like, don't tell me that's not an excuse. This is literally proof that I don't, or that I do. And we asked him for medical records of this, because he was going on and on and on saying, like, oh, how I have this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and I suffer from this. We asked him for medical records. And the famous scene of him where he takes his headset off, screams, I'll fucking do it. Then he walks away. He turns on his lights, walks back. I think he adjusts his laptop and he moves it just so, because he was gonna quote unquote jump off the balcony, which was really his stairs. He turned it ever so slightly, like a little bit out of the way, just so that we couldn't see him. And before I kick him out of the stream, I see him look back to his laptop, and he was looking back to make sure that we were watching. And then you know how when you put someone backstage, it play their camera still on. I
Mhm.
happen to look down. I see him put a fist up in the air, and he quickly runs back to his laptop to turn it off because he knew I saw what he did, and I was going to add him back in. But he was able to get away from that. And I later did more research, and I found out that he has a history of faking his mental illnesses. A highly detailed history of this, to the point where there is a fucking wiki page on him.
Oh my
There
god.
is a wiki page, and
Hey,
on that wiki page was stuff that I didn't even know. Like he had a video called "Black People Are the Devil," and then he had one where he was begging to get in the calls with some YouTubers, and that was like his first-hand account of him faking suicide, where he would like if they didn't add him into the call, he would threaten them over and over again, saying like I'm going to kill myself if you don't add me to the call. But as you can see, he's still here, and he has a history of doing this, a very long history. One of the more scummier things that I found out, and that I found out while doing this research, was he was in a drama with a guy called Michael Is Here. And during that drama, Dan's grandfather had passed away. And Dan thought the bright idea was to capitalize on his grandfather's death and make a video. And I think the video is still up. I don't know which video it is, but he apparently made a video saying like, "Hey guys, my grandfather died. His last dying wish was for me to get 1 million subs on YouTube," which I don't know about you, Phenomenal, but if my grandfather died, I don't think that would be his last wish.
I don't think you should be uploading on YouTube.
Yeah, that's another thing that he does. He uploads every single thing about his fucking life on YouTube.
Oh my
Like
god.
we don't need to know this, but I'll get into that a little bit later. So I look into that, and I actually find Michael, and I question him, about some stuff on the drama. I questioned him about the grandfather thing, and he's like, "Oh," and that's where I found out. Oh, Dan's grandfather did actually die, but he capitalized on his grandfather's death and tried to use his death as a shield for people to not come after him. Because during that drama, he was actually doing some really heinous shit. He
Mhm.
was sending people to go harass Michael. He attempted to dox Michael. He what else did he do? He did a live stream. I found out about this very recently, but he apparently had done a live stream where he was attempting to get into contact with a lawyer and sue Michael, which that didn't end up working. And he did another live stream where he tried calling YouTube to get Michael's channel taken down. Again, that never ended up working. and, and it just kind of spiraled from there. The drama kind of died down a bit until I find out that he has a Discord server where he is like running gay ops. I don't know if you know what that term is.
Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah, he's for those that happen to be tuning in and watching this. I'll quickly explain what a gay op is. Gay op it's a term for like people doing stuff behind the scenes on like private Discord servers or Facebook Messenger chats or Telegrams where they're trying to find out information about somebody, or they're organizing raids, or they're organizing like doxing, like a doxing circle or something. It was kind of, but luckily it wasn't doxing. Thank fucking God. But the guy was sending people that he had pulled like the wool over their eyes and led them into his Discord server, and just blindly followed him and attempted to flag everything that was up there on the internet that had exposed all of the bad shit about him to get taken down.
Mm.
And I end up finding out about this, and I do a stream, and I'm calling them out on it. I'm like, why do you have these people? Why do you have these people that are like, one of them was like a 9-year-old kid. One of them was a 9-year-old kid, and the username was Beagle McTeagle 45, I think. And he had a little kid going into Discord, going on streams, and trying to get the stream taken down. And the one screenshot, and it's the most fucking disgusting thing I've ever seen, is Beagle being promised moderatorship on Dan's server if he's able to get a raid organized. That is fucking disgusting.
The fuck?
Yeah, that is disgusting. The most fucked up thing you could ever fucking do. That is literally a toddler. And you are taking advantage of him. You are that's illegal as it. Yeah, it is illegal. Yeah, sorry about that. I was reading the chat.
Oh, it's all good. All good.
Yeah. Fuck. It's done. It was done. It really was, and a lot of people really don't believe me, but I got the screenshots. I have them. I have them all saved on a folder on my computer. And hell, maybe I'll do a stream tomorrow and just put all the evidence out there. Every single drop of it I got. But maybe I'll do that for another time, because now's not really the time to show that. This is
This is
really
about you. This is your spotlight.
Yeah. So then I do a stream called Fight Night, and it's up there as one of the more famous streams that I've ever done. Dan goes on there and says some even more dumb shit about how witness testimonies are bullshit. How he was going on this like tirade of Black Lives Matter being a terrorist organization, and he holds that belief high above his fucking head. And I've told him time and time again that it's not a terrorist organization. And I brought up an example. People like Al-Qaeda or Al-Qaeda, however you want to pronounce it, those are actually terrorists. The people in these riots, and I gave up an example. I said the people in the riots are just bums on the street, and they're just opportunistic people. And he's like, oh, so does that mean that people in Al-Qaeda are opportunistic? The level of fucking stupidity in that goddamn question,
man,
was unfathomable. And it eventually, he does. Oh, actually, no. I'll explain what happened on this one. So, this live stream, it got very fucking heated. Very heated. It was like 2 in the it lasted until I think 2 in the morning, because that's how long we were arguing with about the Black Lives Matter stuff. And I asked him to show me proof that Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization. Show me some kind of actual evidence that it is. Because all I'm seeing right now is just bums on the street taking advantage of the commotion to rob stores. And he says, all right, I got it. Boy, was I a fucking dumbass that day. The guy showed gore on the stream.
Oh, man.
And that's where the whole... this is kind of where the whole mass flagging of any stream of people that he hates. That's what started it all. On that stream, he says, I genuinely hate you with all my heart. And I kind of flip his logic on him. I'm like, oh, I thought you just had anger issues. I thought, is this the anger issues talking? He didn't like that. He did not like that. And then eventually, I'm like, Dan, I thought in that last stream you said 11 o'clock is your bedtime, but here you are at 2 a.m. in the morning, up on a live stream arguing with us. And he's like, oh, you want to know why? It's not because I wanted to get away. It's because I changed my sleep schedule. in the time between the fight night stream and that stream where Dan attempted, quote unquote, to commit suicide, it was a week. There's no fucking way that you can change a sleep schedule that fucking fast. There's no way.
So he uploaded. So he uploaded a suicide attempt. So he did something with a suicide attempt, and then something with changing his sleep schedule in a week.
Yes.
Oh my.
Yeah. That's a tactic that Dan likes to do. He pulls shit out of his ass and just hopes that people will take it. He just fucking hopes that people will take it. And when people don't take it, that's when he pulls out the I suffer from a mental deficiency, or I suffer from anger issues. I have autism. I have suicidal thoughts. Which by this point we haven't seen any kind of medical, I'm really still waiting on the medical records. To this day, I'm still waiting for them. Because he said, I think he said on one live stream that he had medical records, and I'm still waiting for them. I'm waiting to see all the things that you're diagnosed with that you probably forged. Which forgery is illegal, by the way. Highly illegal.
Especially for medical records.
Yes, it is highly illegal to do that. Oh, that's another thing that he said. He said stuff like forgery and terroristic threats are not illegal. Let's just let that sink in. He doesn't. Yeah, he's under the philosophy of if you don't have like a bomb in an airport, then you shouldn't face repercussions for it. But then when we actually pulled the logic out on him, he started to kind of derail it a bit, because we brought it up to him and was like, hey, if you say I have a bomb in an airport, you're gonna get tackled by like four security guards, and you will. Not only is that illegal, it is a misdemeanor, and you can get fined a lot of money just for saying that. It doesn't even matter if you got a bomb or not. You will be fined a lot of money, and probably be placed in an interrogation room. Mm-hmm. And they're gonna ask you a lot of questions, a lot.
Yeah, because it's TSA, they don't play around.
Yeah, airports and bus stops and the trains, they don't play around with that shit. They take that shit very fucking seriously. Joke or not, they take it seriously.
First of all, it's not funny to begin with, so
yeah. Yes, oh god, it's just like I really don't understand. Mm-hmm. I really just sometimes don't understand them, and then after this, the drama, it dies down. I stop making streams on him. He shuts his fucking mouth finally about me, until very recently, where I find out that he has a plan to take down all of the internet. And I got the plan right here. I got a little list of it.
Oh, so first, this is interesting. This is an interesting list.
Yep. So I got a list of it right here. Let me scroll back up in the Discord chat. Hang on. Let's see. It's somewhere up here. So he said, hang on. So he was saying that he's gonna start with me, I'm getting my shit mixed up. He supposedly has a alternate account with 600 subs on it. A little quick PSA. I know what your little alt account. I know his alt account doesn't got 600 subs, but we'll just go with the motive that it does have 600 subs.
All right.
He's gonna tell. He said he's gonna make a video on that account and say, hey, people, go subscribe to my main account, Dan Stein. It has 300 subs. And if you do that, that will bring it up to 900. And then he would use the 900 subs that he had and, quote, rip Spyro to shreds. And then he would work down the list of people that I was friends with. And then after that, he would go after the commentary community, where he would go ahead and go after some of the big people, namely Just a Robot, Ghost EXE, Ponder Sprocket, Spocter Theory, and just all these other people too that he didn't name. But when I found out about that, I decided, you know what? Since he wants to do this shit, I might as well make a live stream and put the plan out there. So I did. I put it all out there, laid it all out, and again, he was not happy about that. As if he didn't think that it was going to find its way to me. He does, yeah. So he comes on the stream and just starts being obnoxiously loud and tries talking over us so we can't get our points in. It was at the end, he says, like, I think I roasted you guys hard enough, and I'll take my leave. Oh, you guys are laughing about it. Oh yeah, well you'll be laughing when I take down the whole internet. And then after that, he quickly tried covering his tracks, saying like, "Oh no, I meant it as a joke. This was a joke. Just I didn't actually mean I was going to take down the commentary community." And I was quick to really expose that, and I said like the only reason he's saying this is because he knows his plan is not going to work. So eventually, he appears on another stream and makes a claim towards me and my friend Fractured Light that we want him doxxed. He has the audacity to say that we want him to get doxxed.
The fuck?
I have never once said that I want him doxxed. Never fucking once said that. What he's doing right there is what he accuses other people of doing. Slander. Wants to say that all the evidence that I have against him is slander, but apparently a forged thing of me saying that I want him doxxed isn't slander. Like, please tell me I'm not the only one that thinks that that's kind of fucked.
Oh, that definitely is fucked. And people in the chat, I think you can voice your opinions about that, but that definitely is something that is very messed up.
Yeah. And then on that stream, on that very same stream, he said, I don't care about morality as long as I get you guys off the internet. And then we asked him this question. If somebody was doing horrible things, would you call him out for it? Or would you call the person out for it? He said yes, before quickly realizing his mistake and backtracking on it. He knows why I did what I did. He knows why I made those streams. Him admitting that he would call somebody out on heinous shit gave everything away in that split moment. And that just goes to show the mind of a fucking Stein. The mind of a Stein. As of right now, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I have no idea. But I have heard that he's changed his plan up a bit. With I got the list of that right here of your little plan.
Oh, new updated plan. To
New
take
updated
down the
plan.
internet.
Yep, take down. Yep, to take all of us down, guys. Be wary.
Oh, cute. This
Yeah.
is cute.
So we have this list of here of future videos that he's gonna do. Number 1, the Ghost EXE rant, which he did. A rant on my friend Slumber, a rant on Leon, Sonic Defense, a rant on the VTubers, a Ponder Sprocket rant. Yeah, good luck, buddy. Once you get the Ponder Sprocket, dude, you're fucking dead, and that's what you're playing. It just fails. A rant on gacha users, a Storytime animator rant, defending Vivzipop rant, or we know defending Vivzipop via Mega Defense. Yeah, you're defending a pedophile. Ironic, since you call people pedophiles. A shout out, a shout out to a friend of his. Something called Dr. Mario Mushroom Cloud. I don't know what that is. A Pamper Chew roast, YouTube content creators roast or rant, and a Black Lives Matter rant. Yep. So that's what he's got planned.
I predict he gets like halfway through that list.
Yeah. Once he gets to, I think either Leon or Ponder Sprocket, that's when it's done.
Yep.
Yeah.
But continue. All right, but continue off where you were left off.
But as of that moment, aside from that little update, I don't know what he's doing.
You know, I know we had heard of someone, you know, trying to pretend to be us. You know, we heard about that Sunday. I don't want to say that could be him, but with him, you never know.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was him. Because he is that fucking petty.
Like, we're not saying it is him. Like, we're not saying that before anyone gets it twisted. We're not saying it is him, but he's a pretty good choice. He's a pretty good choice, if we're being honest. He's a good choice for that.
It really just is the timing of it all.
Because that was like what, like 2 days?
Yeah.
Like after like you did that one stream, like.
Yeah, that was 2 days after I did the one stream, and then there was that video response that Holy Majesty made, who is Ghost EXE, but he's going under a new name. And then we find out about people impersonating us. So I suspect that it's him trying to stir the pot and make it so we're not the people that we're all cool with. We just break away.
Yep. That's the thing with like a lot of these, you know, like YouTubers, like, you know, like once you like got their number or something, you know, they try to stir the pot up. You know, like they feel the need to just stir the pot up and get some kind of revenge or something. Like, I have no idea, but it's like it's about revenge and, you know, getting back for something instead of just moving on.
Yeah, a lot of people have tried helping this fellow.
I could imagine. You're one of them.
Yeah, a lot of people have tried. Yeah, I myself included have tried to help this guy. On one stream, a person that was actually trying to help him was giving him advice and saying, like, if you don't want people like, you know, Spyro to do this stuff on you, then keep their names out of your mouth, and that showing that you fucked up is not a sign of weakness, because that's what he views it as. He views admitting defeat as a sign of weakness, which it's not. That's a strength, if anything. It shows that what you did was fucked up, and that you're willing to learn from the mistake. But wait, he doesn't know what mistakes are.
Probably, if he definitely thinks he's a perfectionist, and we know how we feel about perfectionists.
Yeah. Well, I guess with that out of the way,
Now that we've talked about Dan Stein Chronicles, now I think it's time for you to let's take this conversation into a complete 360, and let's talk about something that you really enjoy, and that's something being Monster Hunter.
all right.
Like like how did you find out like about this whole Monster Hunter game? Like like we were talking about this a little bit on Live and Uncut on Sunday. But like talk
Yeah.
about how you're like how you found Monster Hunter, like what made you decide, oh, this is the game.
Oh boy. All right. So the Monster Hunter has actually been around since like the early 2000s, but I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I think I was still like a baby around that point, and I didn't really I either like didn't I either like saw it but didn't think much of it, or I didn't see any kind of commercials for it. And that was kind of the thing. Monster Hunter was more for like the Japan audience, and it was more aimed towards them rather than it was for Western audiences that liked the game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then more as the years and years go by, 2018 comes around, and I see an ad for the newest game, Monster Hunter World, and I saw it. And I'm like, huh, that kind of looks interesting. I'll have to see if it's like at a game store somewhere, and probably try and pick it up. But I could never find a copy. That it was either sold out, or it was at a place it was at a game store, but the game store was like a state away. Until around I think 2019 that's when they announced the DLC expansion for it. And I just said, like, I'll just buy the base game and see what it is. And money well spent. I'll just say that, money well spent. That's one of
Hey,
the
I know, like you have like what, like 800 or 8,000 hours into that game. Like you have a
yeah.
lot of time, devoted into Monster Hunter, and your streams kind of reflect that. you know.
Yep. And like as someone who's never actually played the past ones, I just fell in love with the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then to find out that there were other games before this, because I didn't really know that much about them. And I had some friends that knew what Monster Hunter was, and they helped me get to the point that where I'm at now in that game, where I have literally everything, and I'm just waiting for the new updates to come out that add new stuff.
Mm-hmm. And like that's like a month away from like when we're actually like when we're taping this. This is like a month later, like the update comes out, I think, or something. Like this is like supposed to be like the last update.
Yes.
And so far, how do you feel about this kind of being like the last update for the game?
I mean, it's a big send off for this game. Actually, it's a really good send off. It's ending it with the final boss of the first game, and I feel that's a good send off for it. It's just I just feel it's just a good send off, and what we had gotten beforehand was good. It was kind of like a taste of what was to come, and I feel this update is what it is. But what a lot of people don't know is that Monster Hunter actually has some lore to it, some deep hidden lore that is actually fucking dark and is crazy.
Oh man, it sounds definitely sounds crazy. It sounds crazy.
Oh yeah, with the one that the
Mhm.
fucking backstory that I read. Oh god, it was crazy.
Have you done any streams about the lore?
I have not done any streams talking about it.
That'll definitely be, I think, a good discussion topic for you, especially because like you're in the last bits of Monster Hunter. So like that would be something a really good discussion topic for your channel.
I mean, I could discuss some of it if that's fine.
Hey, this is this is your spotlight. Go ahead, like
All right.
you could do a backflip on your bed for all I care.
Well, that's not funny you say that. I actually am on my bed. Well, I
Hey.
guess sit back for a bit, guys. We're gonna dive into the lore of fucking Monster Hunter.
Okay.
All right, let me get the thing. So this is like the only. There was a highly detailed thing that had everything on it. It was like on like a wiki page, and it had everything that was like kind of like a big event. But apparently, it had gotten taken down, and the only thing I could find right now is something about the ancient civilization in the game.
Okay.
All right. Now, what is known about the civilization was far more advanced than any known civilizations of today. A part of the ancient civilization were humans, along with other races that had thrived in this advanced society. Throughout the many lands are ruins of which are left by the said ancient civilization, showing that at their time they were widespread across the lands of many regions such as the ancestral steppe, the jungle, the flooded forest, and the Everwood. In the same ruins are plans and documents detailing many weapons. These plans gave out secrets on how to make certain weapons used today, such as the Dragonator, and along with some secrets about the Elder Dragons, giving the Hunters Guild an advantage over some of them. Some of these documents can even reveal some unidentified monster species, yet to be discovered by the public. Despite finding some of these documents, most of them have been destroyed mysteriously, preventing many other secrets from being discovered. One major question that scientists want to answer is what else the civilization once knew. The ancient civilization was well known for using monsters for various reasons. Primarily the flying wyverns and the elder dragons for their own uses like experiments for building giant towers. These towers were made from parts of other certain monsters like the Kushala Daora, though at the cost of killing a large number of them. The ancient civilization also trained some monsters in a number of ways in order to act as protectors for some of these structures. Some of these monsters are believed to still be alive today and continue to have a strong connection with the ancient civilization, making them stronger. According to reports from the Sky Corridor, some of the monsters have been reported with an unusual eerie aura around them that reflects their strong connection with the lost society. Scientists have been found Scientists have even found a few unidentified bodies of monsters in some towers, suggesting that some unknown monsters might be hiding in the ruins. To support this, Mesoporta's guild has reported sightings of a mysterious monster attacking groups of hunters with no hesitation on certain floors of the Sky Corridor. Though most monsters are treated like slaves or guards, some of these monsters are treated equally as well as the ancient civilization society. Thus far, Nefu Garurumon, I don't know how to fucking pronounce that name, is the only known monster treated like this. Interestingly, some weapons belonging to the ancient civilization can be found embedded in or on the bodies of the roaming elder dragon Lao Shan Lung. Now, this is where it gets fucking crazy from here. The
Ooh.
Forbidden Act. One dark part of this ancient civilization's history is the Forbidden Act they committed that went against nature. By using both technology and biology, this was able to create their own life forms by using equipment and materials to build them from scratch. However, this experiment was considered very evil due in one reason. In order to make a new life form, another creature would have to lose its life. The first new life form ever made was the equal dragon weapon or the wyvern machine soldier, a bioweapon. This life form required about 30 horses worth of dragons, meaning hundreds of dragons were needed to only make one equal dragon weapon. Also, the more blood this titan shed, the longer it would live. Not much else is known about this bioweapon. However, the Hunters Guild has discovered one dead in a lost warehouse. As of now, they've been studying it. Due to the ancient civilization's life forms requiring the death of a mass number of dragons, it angered all the other dragons, which inevitably led to the terrible war. The dragons were sick of their kind being used by humanity as cattle and were angered by the fact that the humans had forgotten the rules of nature. They decided to break away from the humans and destroy humanity itself. This began a long and violent war between humanity and the dragons that spread worldwide, leaving behind mass destruction everywhere. Though it is unknown what exactly happened, The legend of the Black Dragon is said to describe all that happened in the Great Dragon War. This war ended with most of the dragons extinct and the ancient civilization was wiped out. During the Great Dragon War, a perfect enemy for humanity existed supposedly continues to live within the ruins of the Shrade Kingdom, an elder dragon known as the Evil Dragon, or better known as Fatalis. Fatalis was said to have a strong hatred against humanity and even continues to remember the past of its brethren, including the other elder dragons and even the flying wyverns, being killed in great numbers by the ancient civilization. It was the perfect enemy for humanity due to its immense power. In a short period of time, without any warning, Fatalis could bring mass destruction to any civilizations it wanted to destroy, such as the Shrade Kingdom. If this wasn't enough, Fatalis could also copy the ancient civilization's inventions for the monster's own use. Though instead of dragons, Fatalis used humans. Fatalis would melt the bodies of fallen humans and hunters onto its body so it could wear them like they wore its brethren. Though Fatalis isn't known to exist anymore in legend, when the world is full of wyverns, the legend is revived. Meat is eaten, bone is crunched. After living for so long and witnessing so much, it is rumored that the original Fatalis that destroyed the kingdom is now a white Fatalis. And that's it.
That is a dark story. That is
It is
dark, especially how like one has to die for a new one to just be created. That is wow.
Yeah. And the fucking lore, and then there's other ones that are like Fatalis. They're called the Black Dragons. There's 5 of them. Fatalis being one of them. Dire Moralis, Alatrion, Dyspheria, and Mephistopheles. And they're like the strongest. And everything fears Fatalis. Everything does. Even larger monsters that are bigger than Fatalis are afraid of it.
Damn.
It is a crazy story.
That is such a like crazy story. Like just wow. And like sometimes like you just sit and wonder like how does this stuff like who creates this stuff?
I don't know.
Like it's just like one of those things that like just listening to it, you kind of just sit back and you kind of just reflect like who made this?
Yeah, it's apparently from like books that they released where they gave subtle hints about what had happened, and they just kind of put a story together that kind of matched what was being given at the time.
That is quite, that is quite the story, and I think that is the perfect place to capitalize this interview off. Spyro, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for your time, Spyro. It's your spotlight. Anything that you got going on your channel coming up?
As far as I know, expect some Monster Hunter streams, probably me doing some of the event quests. But definitely tune in on October 1st. Possibly, hang on, let me check. Possibly Wednesday 30th, because sometimes they release these events a little early, where I will be streaming myself playing against the boss Fatalis, the one that is described in that story. And definitely it's going to be a fight to remember.
I bet so. But until your next stream, I want to thank everybody for watching this. If you're not, I normally don't plug my channel and sub or anything, but if you want to do that, you can. Make sure you sub to Spyro. We had the same amount of subscribers at one point, but now Spyro's creeping up ahead of me. We got some work to do on my side, but
Yep.
But we'll get there eventually. I gotta upload more. I gotta do some more content, but we'll get there eventually. But thank you everybody. But thanks everybody for watching, and We'll see you next time on P1's Corner. But until then, good night, everybody.